Good evening. It's 6:05 on January 11th. Dudley Conservation Commission will commence. First is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Excellent.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next is tree removal form.
You want to do roll call? It's for this.
Okay, yeah, we need to roll call.
Bob Tuttle. James Kepke.
Fran Mikolajczyk.
And George Slingo. Next is tree removal form, 34 Lakeview Ave, Judith Olson. Is she here? Matt, have you looked at this?
Yeah, I went down Monday and I took a look at the area. I also took the liberty of getting the form ready for you guys filled out. I don't have an issue with what she wants to cut down. There's no canopy value for the trees that she's got there. One of them's dead. There's a birch that's on its way out. The only condition that I would recommend is that she'd be required to grind the stumps in place if she wants to remove the stumps.
Okay. Somebody want to make that in the form of a motion?
I can make a motion to give the approval to 34 Lakeview Ave, care of Judith Olson for a tree removal.
With the caveat that if the...
Caveat that any stumps be ground and not removed.
Correct. Okay. A motion's been made.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a continuance of a notice of intent for Fish Road, Town of Dudley. We have a DEP number this time, and Matt's, what's your recommendation?
Okay, well, George, first of all, I'm gonna just give me a second. I'm gonna share my screen so that Franny and the others can take a look at the plan. Okay, Frank, can you see the plan okay? Yep. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here, for Commissioner. So, DEP's comment was that they wanted to see some plantings for the protection of the wetland that's close to where the road improvement is going. And that would be from wetland flag B1 to B7. And Fran, that's where I'm waving my cursor shaped like a hand over on the screen. Yep. So what I would recommend is the commission write in the order that the applicant just basically plant a row of juniper along that section of road. Juniper would be perfect for that area. It's a facultative upland plant. So if it gets a little wet, it can take that. When it gets a little sandy on the roadside, it can take that. It's a salt tolerant plant, so it's not like we're gonna plant them and if they salt the road, they're gonna get burned. They're very tolerant of roadside salt, and they make a good wildlife habitat. And I've had a lot of my colleagues in landscape design recommend that. So that's the only condition I would add to the order of conditions, and I think it'll satisfy DEP's concern.
So which stakes was it from?
Yep. Where was that, the point that, with the juniper again?
If you look at the plans, you'll see wetlands flags B1 through B7. B7 goes right in the corner of
Right here.
Dudley
Yes,
Road
B1
and
right here.
Fish Road.
Okay. B1 to B7.
Okay. So
It goes all the way down. It's just a small section.
your recommendation is to plant juniper?
Yep, from wetland flags B1 to B7.
Okay. Are there any abutters? At this time, I'll close the public hearing. It's at 6:10. Someone that can make a motion.
I'll make a motion that the plant junipers between B1 and B7 along that area,
And approve the order of conditions?
to approve the order of conditions.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is a notice of intent for 35 to 37 Chase Ave, Verde Organica LLC.
So, Frank, before you start, I am going to give you permission to share the screen, which I've just done. Thank you. So that way we have a commissioner that's zooming in, so the commissioner will be able to view the plans.
Yes, and I have, in my sharing going, I have a plan that I colored up some. Hopefully it comes through on the Zoom. If not, I can make some live adjustments on the fly.
No, you're good.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Did you want to kick off, or did you want to have me jump right into it?
That's up to the chairman.
Go right ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's all yours.
All right, thank you. So what my client is proposing to do here now at 35-37 Chase Avenue is to construct a new greenhouse grow facility at the old mill building. I believe the project had been before you previously for a prior phase of work. That work is more or less been completed. The client has is operating a dispensary in this part of the building and has done some site work within your jurisdictional areas. They have constructed a gravel parking lot as well as some drainage facilities along the northern edge of the property. There's a stormwater management area and swale that was constructed along with a stormwater management area in this existing grassed area. That was to offset some of the added impervious area that they did up at the frontage of the road. What I have kind of highlighted here are the several jurisdictional areas that the commission would be concerned with. There is the French River and its associated wetlands. As you can see on the highlights here, if I crank the opacity back up, this is the French River. There is a little canal runs up into the property. This was previously flagged. This wetlands jurisdictional areas have we have your 50-foot no touch, and then the 100-foot buffer. We're also subject to a 100-foot and 200-foot inner and outer riparian zones from the French River. The 100-foot inner riparian zone is more or less the same line as the wetland buffer, except for a couple of spots where it jogs, and the 200-foot riparian buffer comes through much of the existing site, through the existing buildings and existing pavement. Essentially, the entirety of the site has been previously disturbed. The buildings and parking lot, from my research, have more or less been in this configuration for the last 50 years. So there's not much that's new that has been built on the site. The applicant has demolished this rear building, which I will make stand out a little more. So this red area was previously demolished in the last probably feels like 18 months ago. I would have to double check my records, but certainly within the last couple of years. And what they propose is to, within this disturbed building and existing pavement area, to construct a new greenhouse facility, approximately 58,000 square feet in area. Otherwise, they're going to utilize the existing building for the rest of their proposed growing and manufacturing processes. We're not proposing any new pavement. We actually end up with a reduction in the overall pavement of approximately 3,700 square feet. It's not a lot, but we are able to get rid of some pavement. The bulk of that is up in this portion of the property. We need the pavement that's within the jurisdictional areas for site circulation and safety. There is a floodplain, obviously, on the property. It's more or less elevation 408. It did go through many of the existing buildings, and this green area here is where the new building would be in the existing floodplain. Now, the prior work that was done on the site, including the stormwater management area and swales, resulted in a net increase in flood storage of approximately 644 cubic feet. This area, when I calc that out, is approximately 320 cubic feet. So even with this new building area, you would still have a net increase in flood storage on the property of over 300 cubic feet. So there is no loss in flood storage with proposed work. We are proposing some catch basins and roof headers to collect this stormwater runoff. That'll be connected into an existing discharge that discharges into the river. The catch basins will be standard deep sump hooded catch basins to provide some TSS removal. However, given that we're having an overall reduction in flow in impervious area from the site, no detention has been proposed. This has been filed as a redevelopment.
So, if I may, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
Okay, so, Frank, the areas that you're taking away for impervious, are they going to be planted?
They will be planted, yes. This existing pavement in the back will be replanted with loam and seed. And I believe from the prior special permit that they had for the property, there was some plantings proposed there as well.
Okay, great. So one thing I should make you aware of, the EP hasn't given the file number yet, but when I was, everything you're saying, I don't have an issue with. It looks fine. Your usual thorough job. The only thing I did notice was that the area by the canal, as well as the river, there is regulatory floodway that is shown on the overlay. Can you address that?
Yeah, that regulatory floodway would be outside of any limit of work. I can pull up that map if you bear with me 1 minute. There's my figure that I included in the application document, but the regulatory floodway would be well outside of any work area and would be outside of the existing erosion controls that will be maintained and refreshed as part of this project. So this is the figure that I made from the FEMA website, showing the firm map. What you can actually see is the existing building that has been demolished within the floodplain. The floodway is this blue and orange hashed area that is all within the tree line. So it's all the work proposed is outside of the floodway, and you can see on this map again the calculated cross sections and elevations for the floodplain. The closest one is 408 feet. The existing buildings were all at 409.9 finished floor elevation, more or less when we surveyed them. So the work will be all outside of any floodway.
All right, perfect. Yeah, when I saw that floodway overlap into the canal, I had a feeling. I mean, your plans look pretty thorough, as I've come to expect from you. I just wanted to raise that just to make sure. I had a feeling that that's what you were going to tell me, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and that increase in flood storage was done before I was involved. But if you look at the mapping on here, you can see the existing driveway. You follow my cursor here, and that stormwater work was all done almost in the floodway, but not. That was all done in kind of upland grass.
All right, perfect. I'm good. Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome, Matt.
Okay, well. Any questions from board members?
Looks good.
Any questions from the public? We can't vote on this, so can we have
With that being the case, Mr. Chairman, I would respectfully ask for the board to continue this to your next hearing.
Okay,
And if needed, I can provide a letter just kind of documenting that too. I'm not sure how you operate with that.
we definitely need a letter.
Email.
So, all right,
Emails.
you'll have one in the next couple of days.
Email's fine.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to continue this
To February 1st.
February 1st.
I'll make a motion to continue the notice of intent for 35-37 Chase Ave until February 1st meeting. I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
And just so I have the right date in my letter, the next meeting would be February 1st?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next is Dudley Conservation Land Trust Project Collaborative. You're up, Mr. Wheelock.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Paul Wheelock. I'm the president of Dudley Conservation Land Trust. As I don't know if your board knows that Nancy Vukovic was on our board for many, many years, and she worked tirelessly on land conservation and land acquisition issues, and she was a very valued member. She was also on your board for many, many years and worked tirelessly on water quality issues. And she was a past president of the Hayden Pond Association. I reached out to the Hayden Pond Association and to the president, and I thought he said he was going to be coming here tonight. but he didn't show up. So I had a thought that maybe these us three organizations could work together and collaborate on some sort of memorial for Nancy. Guys have any thoughts on that?
I was just gonna ask you, what do you suggest?
Well, this is only my idea, and I'm willing to listen to any other ideas, but I thought it would be kind of cool to name the causeway over there on Hayden Pond after Nancy, the Nancy J. Vukovic Causeway.
No problem with that. I like that idea.
You know, we'd have to get, we could put up a sign, something, like, how there's some signs around town for different people.
Yep.
Maybe that kind of a sign. Get a rock with a, brass plaque on it or something or whatever, That was my idea. I'm willing to listen to other ideas if someone has it, but
Good with that.
No, I'm good with that.
Can Franny hear us?
Franny, can you hear?
Yep,
Did you hear that?
yes, I did.
You have any other suggestions, or are you good with that?
I'm good with it.
All right.
this is just the first step. I'm just here to let you know. That's what we're thinking of. I gotta reach out to my board,
Yep.
see what they wanna do. I guess I'm gonna have to reach out to the Hayden Pond Association, they have to reach out to their people around the pond and, whatever, but, we can come back in 3 weeks and talk about it some more, or whatever you wanna do.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have a full board at that meeting.
So Paul came in to discuss this, and the highway superintendent was there, and he said that he didn't see a major issue with it either. It's just that it has to be approved by, he said.
Hey, we had the selectmen, I know, we're gonna have to go before the selectmen and ask permission from them. Maybe in the spring, someday we get a nice day in the spring, we could have a dedication down there or
Yep.
something.
I like that idea. All right.
All right? I'll be back in 3 weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you, Paul.
All right, George.
Have a good night. Next is approval of the meeting minutes for November 9th, 2022. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for November 9th. I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes for November 9th, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting today.
Second.
Today's date.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.